Oh my god, hey! Welcome back to my Stagey YouTube channel. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Mickey Jo, and I'm obsessed with all things theatre. Previously on my channel, I told you about my top 10 favourite theatre productions from 2021, or the half of 2021 where we were legally allowed to go to the theatre. Today, I am going to be distributing MickeyJoTheatre Awards to my favourite performances from those shows. Now, I love an awards season. I'm a big fan of the Tony Awards, the Olivier Awards, the What's on Stage Awards. Any kind of recognition for great performances in the theatre, I am all about. For mine this year, I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. First of all, I don't really believe in gender-separated categories for performance awards. I tend to think a great theatre performance is a great theatre performance, and it doesn't need to be classified as a great theatre performance by a woman or a great theatre performance by a man. There's no reason they can't be compared to each other. I'm also going to be adding in a couple of new categories that I've created that I don't think are represented enough in awards. And I'm not the first person to do this, but I want to shout out some of the understudy performances I have seen this year. I want to shout out my favourite vocal performance moments from the year. I want to talk about ensemble casts as well as ensembles within larger shows, as well as the leading and featured performances that I enjoyed the most this year. So sit back, pour yourself a glass of interval rosé, and let's get into it.
For Best Leading Performance in a Musical, Roger Bart, Back to the Future, Audrey Brisson, Amelie, Jessie Buckley, Cabaret, Louis Cornet, John and Jen, Sutton Foster, Anything Goes, and Julian Avenden, South Pacific.
For the best leading performance in a musical, the winner was Jessie Buckley from Cabaret. Now, this was an incredibly tightly contested category, but Jessie Buckley's performance as Sally Bowles just showed such range and such commitment. She executes these incredibly bold choices where she will deliver a huge ballad like maybe this time in such a still and such a small but still beautifully sung way. Her club performances as Sally Bowles are more raw and more real and edgier than I have seen anyone else given this role, and there have been some powerhouse performers in this role. And then her take on the title song Cabaret is one of the defining theatrical moments of 2021 for me, when she entered that final chorus screaming and juddering and just letting loose. It was a completely uninhibited, fearless performance.
For Best Leading Performance in a Play, Hiran Abe Sekera, Life of Pi, Ben Daniels, The Normal Heart, Leanne Henlon, 7 Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner, Jack Holden, Cruise, Paul Keating, My Night with Reg, and Rhys Lyons, Overflow.
And my favourite leading performance in a play of 2021 was Ben Daniels in The Normal Heart. Now, this was a performance that was passionate and intense. The way that he engaged differently with every single character in that piece and the way it brought out a different element of his character. He became a different version of himself with each of them, the way that he gradually turned to rage and frustration throughout, and the way that he still managed to make this character likeable and engaging when he's a very difficult, acerbic personality. All of that is the sign of a really brilliant actor, just the way that he would deliver monologues. He's entirely in a different class of actor to many of the performances I've seen before. It was really masterful work. Ned Weeks in The Normal Heart is an incredibly challenging role, and he sort of carried the entire thing on his back in that way. Just a remarkable job.
For Best Featured Performance in a Musical, Blake Patrick Anderson, Be More Chill, Hugh Coles, Back to the Future, Carly Mercedes Dyer, Anything Goes, Jack Malone, Operation Mincemeat, Liza Sadovi, Cabaret, and Jodie Steele, Heathers.
And the winner was Jack Malone from Operation Mincemeat. The main role that Jack plays in this show was a character called Hester. Now, Hester is a sort of a long-suffering administrative assistant working in MI5 during the Second World War. Now, many of the performances in this show were gender-bent casting, and Jack Malone plays Hester with such sincerity and such femininity. It's not at all a drag performance, it's just a beautiful, honest performance. And the stand-up moment from this show was when Jack as Hester sings a song writing a letter to her late lover from the First World War. It's an incredibly poignant, heartbreaking song, beautifully, perfectly performed by Jack Malone, just in a single spot, so connected to the emotion of it. The fact that he can be so funny in this show and then have this one moment that's just completely sincere and heartbreaking is phenomenally impressive.
For Best Featured Performance in a Play, Vivian Achimpong, Is God Is, Hannah Jarrett Scott, Pride and Prejudice Sort Of, Isabel MacArthur, Pride and Prejudice Sort Of, Daniel Monks, The Normal Heart, Rebecca Root, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and Jake Wood, 222, A Ghost Story.
And my favourite featured performance in a play of 2021 was Hannah Jarrett Scott in Pride and Prejudice Sort Of. Now, the entire cast of this show are excellent and they all support each other so well, but Hannah Jarrett Scott is particularly a standout highlight in this show. She has two really great roles that she plays, and these are as both of the Bingley siblings. And the way that she spoofs the Jane Austen by making them these hysterical caricatures. Caroline Bingley is this incredibly obnoxious, trying to get attention from Mr. Darcy and making a complete fool of herself. It's hysterically funny. And then she plays Charles Bingley as this kind of like Justin Bieber Regency boy, basically, who just has this like dumb but earnest guy at a party vibe. But every single moment that she finds on the stage, just her entrance draws laughter so many times because of how she characterizes these characters, and you just know which one she is, even when she's multi-rolling as two siblings.
For Best Vocal Performance, Lucy Jones, Waitress and Les Miserables, the All-Star Staged Concert, Natanya Ong, Be More Chill, Rob Houchen, South Pacific and Children of Eden in Concert, Danielle Steers, Six, Adam Pearce, Prince of Egypt and Children of Eden in Concert, and Emma Kingston, the Chichester Festival Theatre Outdoor Summer Concert and Children of Eden in Concert.
And the winner for Best Vocal Performance of 2021 goes to Emma Kingston from Children of Eden and the Chichester Festival Theatre Summer Concert. Emma is a vocalist I've been obsessed with for a very long time, but her performance in both of the shows I saw her in last year was incredible. Performing in the park behind Chichester Festival Theatre, she made an entire park full of people sit up and applaud mid-song when she was singing Stevie Wonder. And at Cadogan Hall for Children of Eden, she was a last-minute replacement for Alice Fern. She came in and learned the show after everyone else, and she stopped the show dead with Ain't It Good. Just the way that people died applauding this number afterwards. I'm pretty sure there was a mid-show standing ovation. There was a mid-show standing ovation, I'm remembering it now. The entire stalls just erupted halfway through the second act at how great her vocal performance of this song had been.
For Best Ensemble Cast, Amelie at the Criterion Theatre, A Chorus Line at the Leicester Curve, Come From Away at the Phoenix Theatre, Operation Mincemeat at Southwark Playhouse, the new cast of Six at the Vaudeville Theatre, and Pride and Prejudice Sort Of at the Criterion Theatre.
And the best ensemble cast that I saw in 2021 was the cast of A Chorus Line at Leicester Curve. Something about this cast of A Chorus Line was just so special. The diversity in this cast was something beautiful to see, and something you wouldn't necessarily see in other productions of A Chorus Line. But universally, throughout the cast, it became impossible to pick standout performances because everyone was so committed and so together. When I saw the show, they had just been in rehearsals trying to make the show work with one cast member absent, and so they were splitting their track among the remaining performers. Even I, as a huge fan of it, took quite a while into the show to actually work out that this was what was happening. And there was an understudy on in one of the roles that I didn't realise right until the end. It was just a super cohesive cast, the way they sung together, the way they danced together. It was really interesting seeing them engage with each other, and just universally, they all brought this same level of intensity and commitment that made the show electric.
For Best Ensemble in a Production, Anything Goes at the Barbican Theatre, Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, Carousel at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, Cinderella at the Gillian Lynn Theatre, The Prince of Egypt at the Dominion Theatre, and South Pacific at Chichester Festival Theatre.
And my favourite ensemble in a production from 2021 was the ensemble of Anything Goes. The way that they danced in Anything Goes, the way that they sang, the way that they delivered this story with such joy and such effortlessness. You could tell that their respect and admiration for the brilliant leading ladies who were coming over to star in this show really radiated throughout the ensemble, and everyone was bringing their A game because of it. It was a beautiful thing to see happening on stage, and it made for two of the greatest numbers of musical theatre in 2021. Everyone danced flat out, sang beautifully. It was impossible to pick any kind of flaw or fault in any of the ensemble members. It was just universally just perfect and beautiful.
For Best Understudy in a Production: Liv Andrusa, Little Women; Holly Ann Hull, The Phantom of the Opera; Mike Hamway, Cinderella; Danny Knott, The Rocky Horror Show; Marina Tavalieri, A Chorus Line; and Hannah Stewart, Six.
And the winner for Best Understudy of 2021 goes to Mike Hamway from Cinderella. Now, at the performance I saw, Mike Hamway was playing Sebastian and gave such a confident and assured performance, as all of these understudies did. I always think it's a little bit moot when I or anyone says that you would never have known they were the understudy, because all of the understudy performances I see are always completely cohesive with the rest of the cast. They're always confident, they are always well rehearsed and just perfectly performed, even when they may not be that rehearsed, because they may not have had that much rehearsal time. Understudies make things work. They are the saviours of theatre, and they do a phenomenal job every single time. Mike Hamway was brilliant in this role because he had so much on his shoulders. He delivers possibly the best song of the show, which is an incredibly challenging vocal. He had this crazy dance moment at the end, but he was also effortlessly charming and endearing throughout, and had brilliant, real chemistry with Carrie Hope Fletcher. And I think that's one of the most challenging things for an understudy, is to come in and sort of own that authority as a leading man when that's not the normal track that you are playing. And that brings us to the end of my MickeyJoTheatre Awards for 2021. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Are there any that you disagreed with? What were your favourite theatre performances of 2021? Are there any other categories you would like to see represented in my MickeyJoTheatre Awards for 2022? I'm so excited to hear all of your thoughts, and I'm so excited to think about in a year's time when I will get to talk about another year's worth of theatre performances and which ones were my favourite. In the meantime, make sure you're subscribed to my channel for lots more stagey content coming very soon, including my next video where I'm going to tell you all about the shows I'm most looking forward to in 2022. Also, if you want to support me as a stagey content creator, head over to patreon.com/MickeyJoTheatre for a bunch of exclusive photo and video content. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you had a very stagey 2021.
For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!